Hey marketers, Philippe, Florida Costume Merch, another video. This time it's about a call we received from a non-profit. They needed some help with items for their winter senior program. And every year they do a winter program where they want to give out items for during the winter holidays like Thanksgiving, Xmas, and Hanukkah. And they want it to be more generic. In other words, don't give out a squishy turkey or something like that. So we sent them some ideas, and then they came back to us. I mean, they have a group of younger advisors who come up with their own ideas. And so what they sent us were wooden coin banks, completely blank. It looked like they, the types that you paint on and becomes more of a project. And just just note that these items are given out to individuals. It's not like they're going to a senior home and all together and they can work on this project together. No, they're just giving them out, one at a time. Maybe they can give out paintbrushes with it. I don't know. But anyway, when it comes to things like that, for example, like a coin bank, which the message is about giving. In the Jewish traditions, coin banks are not about putting money away for yourself, or getting all your extra change and sticking it in there for some other time. Coin banks is called, in the Jewish tradition, called a tzedakah box, which means that we put money into a little box, a little bank, to eventually give to a nonprofit. And it's about giving, it's not about savings. And I think that's the message. The only thing is that not everybody understands that, first of all. And we also felt that as a main item, as a giveaway, with the limited budget that most nonprofits have, we felt this was not the one to do from a branding standpoint and from a long-term exposure standpoint. It's a nice thing, heartwarming, great feelings, which is important when it comes to branding, when it comes to giving out items. But you need to also make the budget, we feel, particularly with nonprofits who might tend to have more limited budgets and might have more oversight, make the budget go as far as possible with the best possible items, and also still keep the same type of message. And so we sent them other ideas, which we felt were, we actually wrote an article, which I'm going to read a little bit of it now, which we felt were a much better choice for this nonprofit who was working with seniors. So we suggested nice alternatives, and some of the alternatives were on the higher price range, not very expensive. We're not talking about, $20, $30, $40, $50 items. You can't do that. Not for, large amounts of giveaways, unless you have an amazing budget. It's always, you never know, and we're happy to help you with that too. But it's, trying to make an amazing impression with large, big giveaways is not always the best thing to do. Sometimes middle of the road, or even less than middle of the road, will have more of an impact and more of a longer lasting impact than some major giveaway, some huge amount of whatever. So we suggested things like drinkware. Now, it doesn't have to be your basic drinkware. Again, we're doing seniors here, so we have to make sure that it's not heavy. Some drinkware can be pretty heavy. We have to make sure that it's going to be easy to use. In other words, you have some drinkwares that, the pop-up is kind of tight in there, and, all those seniors some of them may not be able to, not to say that seniors are unable to have any strength, that's not true. Look at me, hey. But we're saying that some, in that group, there may be some who may not have as much strength in their hand as maybe as they used to, and we have to be cognitive of that. We suggested a blanket Talk about heartwarming. A blanket, a beautiful blanket. That's really heartwarming. Doesn't have to be a heavy-duty blanket or an expensive blanket. It could be really just a nice, basic, just very nice. One of those carry-on type rolled blankets is really a nice giveaway, and I think it sends the message really. A tote bag, classic. A nice tote bag, without again spending a lot of money. A nice tote bag, I think, is a wonderful idea. These items, we like them because again we're going year round. We're not going to just give away the coin bank. We put it away on the side and then kind of forgotten and most likely not used by many, but it's going to last much longer. The items that we suggested, and it's going to send exactly the same message as the coin bank, and so we're not losing the message. We're not losing the giving aspects of it, and now we are gaining much more as far as the exposure, which is important. The thing about the bags, which we like, and the drinkware, is that now as people use them, go out, the brand gets exposed to other people, and then we have this giving and giving and giving. Now the blanket doesn't travel as much, but still, it is much more likely to be noticed than, unfortunately, than a coin bank. So, so we suggested some smaller items if you didn't want to go, with the slightly higher price items, which they're not that high price actually. We suggested smaller items if you don't want to do that. If you really want to give that coin bank, and that's fine. But I think that adding smaller items are going to be useful, and usefulness is very important. Things that seniors are likely to appreciate, which is also very important. So let's look at it this way. When you give someone something and they really enjoy it and they really feel attached to it, they feel the connection to it, and they see your brand on it, what do you think is going to happen? The next time somebody talks to them about something, they're going to say, oh yes, we got this item, it was so nice, they came to my door, what was their name? Oh, I remember the name because I carry this bag around all day and I see it all the time, right? And then your name is going to go out there and it's going to send. Talk about giving. So keep on giving. That's what you want. Okay, so again, anyway, and I'll go back to the other thing. I keep going around and around. So on the smaller items, we suggested a magnifier with a light. And not a tiny one. There's some small ones, like a little bigger one. Okay, we suggested a fridge calendar. Now, in other words, it's a calendar, a good size one, not the tiny one, a good size calendar with pictures that goes on the refrigerator. And people love to just go through the months and so on. A cutting board, not too expensive, definitely useful, something that anyone will use, even not just seniors. And great for day to day. I can't pronounce it, I think you understood what I meant. Practical gifts with high utility value make the nonprofit's generosity feel more personal and impactful. Another good one was an umbrella. Where this nonprofit was in the north somewhere, where it actually snows and rains and so on quite a bit, and we felt the umbrella would really be and talk about exposure, and I would imagine, I don't have real big stat on it, but from what I have, I would imagine seniors are more likely to use an umbrella than maybe younger groups or younger people who may use a hat instead. Those items really convey thoughtfulness. They really convey, care and so on. Other items that we suggested beyond all these, let's see, there were quite a few. I don't have them all here. Let me see my other note here. Oh, there's nothing like a notebook, a journal to write your thoughts into. And when it comes to feeling like your day is meaningful, especially if your person is retired and not so involved. And even if, regardless, writing down what happened during the day can really well emphasize the value of yourself. And especially if you go back to it and you read it again, oh wow, oh I remember this, oh yes, and maybe even share it with others. And I thought that a journal would be really a beautiful thing to do. Something practical, simple, an oven mitt. You know, we sometimes we think, you know, beyond the we think of the most obvious, and we don't think of things like an oven mitt. We almost suggested an apron also, but we felt the aprons probably may not be as used, although we're still on the fence about that one. But the oven mitt would definitely be used. I mean, who doesn't have an oven? Who doesn't use an oven, right? I mean, unless you order all the time. I think most people, I would say, you know, still, you know, bake and cook for themselves, or have someone come and bake. And can you imagine someone comes and cooks, and then they see the oven mitt, and then they see the name, exposure again. Oh wow, so nice! They gave you this oven mitt, such a special organization, and so on. So again, with this kind of approach, these items you suggested, and there were a couple of others, you keep on giving, you keep on sharing, which is really what the message was. Is what the message they wanted to, you know, to give out. At the same time, you accomplish your goals and maximize the nonprofit's budget. We'd be happy to help you with your next project. There's of course much more to this. Just call us 386-400-2666, and we'll be happy to give you some great ideas and give you some quotes. Most nonprofits get end column prices. If you don't know where that is, give us a call. We'll tell you. It just basically means good prices, you know, lower prices. Or if you don't want to call us, you want to send us a message. Our email address is way too long, and most people would not understand my accent. Go to the bottom of the video, or if you're listening to the podcast, and there should be a link there that takes you to our website, and where you'll see a web form. You can fill out the web form, send us a message. Okay, thanks for listening. We hope that this was helpful. Again, the number here, 386-400-2666. This is Philippe from Florida Costume Merch, wishing you great success in all your programs.